Welcome to this English learning video, where today we are going to break one of the biggest habits that stops people from speaking confidently. Many English learners translate every sentence inside their head before speaking, and this slows down their thinking, their confidence, and their natural flow. If you translate in your head, you will always feel stuck, confused, and nervous, especially in real conversations. In this video, we will learn how to speak naturally without depending on translation. This lesson will help you think directly in English, speak smoothly, and express yourself without fear. Today's video is long and full of deep training so you can practice along with each section. We will go through exercises, examples, situations, and real techniques used by advanced speakers. Every method you learn here is simple, practical, and possible for every learner, even beginners. You will learn how your brain processes language and how to train it to switch into English mode. You will learn how immersion works even without living abroad. You will discover how to replace translation with real thought patterns. You will learn how to build instant response habits that take you from thinking slowly to speaking quickly. You will practice short drills that force your brain to think naturally. You will hear examples of natural English sentences that build real fluency. You will learn how to stop focusing on grammar and start focusing on meaning. You will learn how to build English reflexes through daily training. Every section in this video will help you speak better by the end of the full lesson. By watching the complete training, you will feel your mind shifting into a more fluent state. You will understand why translation slows you down and how to eliminate the habit completely. You will learn how English speakers think, how they form ideas, and how they connect thoughts without translation. Take a deep breath, get comfortable, and prepare yourself for an important transformation in your English learning journey. This is not just a lesson. This is a full experience to help you speak confidently and naturally. Let us begin our first deep dive into thinking in English. Before you learn how to stop translating in your head, you must understand why translation creates so many problems. Translation is a slow mental process that forces your brain to switch between two languages constantly. When you translate, you are not thinking naturally. You are comparing two language systems that have different grammar, structure, and expression. This causes delays, hesitation pauses, and confusion during conversation. Translation may feel helpful at the beginning, but it becomes a barrier when you want to speak smoothly. Your brain cannot focus on meaning when it is busy converting every word into your native language. This extra mental work creates stress, making you feel nervous while speaking. When you translate, you lose the natural rhythm of English. Every language has its own thinking style, and English has patterns that cannot be translated word by word. This is why many learners understand English, but still cannot speak fluently. They spend too much time trying to convert instead of trying to express. Translation also limits your vocabulary because you think only about words you already know in your language. It prevents creativity, making your sentences sound forced and unnatural. You start worrying about mistakes instead of focusing on communication. You feel afraid of speaking because you are unsure if your translated sentence is correct. This fear builds more pressure and reduces your confidence even more. The more you translate, the more robotic your speech becomes. You sound like you are reading from your mind instead of speaking freely. Real fluency comes when your brain stops checking every word and starts flowing with ideas. Fluency is not about speaking fast. It is about speaking naturally without translating. When you think directly in English, your sentences come out smoother and clearer. Your mind becomes lighter, and you feel more comfortable expressing yourself. With the right training, you can retrain your brain to switch into English mode. In the next sections, we will work on the techniques that help you break free from translation permanently. This transformation begins with understanding how your mind works and how to make it work in your favor. To speak English naturally, you first need to understand how your brain actually learns a language. Your brain does not learn a language by translating words one by one. It learns through patterns, repetition, and meaning. Think about how you learned your first language. No one gave you grammar rules or translations when you were a child. You learned by listening, observing, and connecting sounds to real-life situations. Your brain built a direct link between ideas and words without using translation. This is the same method your brain uses today with any new language. When you hear English repeatedly, your brain starts recognizing common structures. It begins forming natural connections like sentence flow, tone, and rhythm. Your brain needs exposure, not translation, to become fluent. The more you listen and speak, the stronger your English thinking circuits become. Translation forces your brain to use memory instead of intuition. But natural speaking comes from instinct, not calculation. This instinct develops only when your brain gets enough English input. That is why listening is the foundation of speaking. You cannot speak naturally if you never hear natural English. Your brain mirrors what you hear, copies patterns, and repeats them automatically. When you train your brain with the right input, English becomes easier and faster. Thinking directly in English becomes normal because your brain starts using English as a primary tool. You stop depending on your native language because your brain trusts English patterns. This trust takes time, but with consistent practice, it becomes your new habit. Every section in this video is designed to build that trust inside your brain. The goal is to make English feel familiar, comfortable, and automatic for you. As you continue, your brain will slowly shift from translating to thinking. This shift is the secret to natural fluency, and it begins with understanding how your brain learns. Most learners do not realize that translating and thinking in English are two completely different mental processes. When you translate, your brain works in a slow, step-by-step method. You first think in your native language, then search for an English match, and finally try to speak it. This creates stress, delays, and unnatural speech. Translation also makes you overthink grammar rules and sentence structure. You begin to worry if the sentence is correct instead of expressing your idea clearly. Thinking in English is the opposite. It allows you to form your idea directly in the English language. Your mind produces the sentence automatically, without checking every detail. This makes you respond faster in conversations, just like a natural speaker. Thinking in English reduces mental pressure because you are using one language, not two. It also increases confidence because your brain feels more familiar with English expression patterns. When you think in English, you focus on meaning instead of grammar. Meaning guides your sentence, and grammar naturally falls into place through practice. Your speech becomes smoother because your brain is not stopping to translate or compare languages. You also begin using phrases and expressions that are more natural to English speakers. Your vocabulary grows faster because you connect words directly to ideas, not translations. Thinking in English improves your listening skills because you are not trying to convert every sentence you hear. You understand conversations more easily, even if you do not know every word. This creates a strong language loop. Better thinking leads to better speaking leads to better confidence. The more you think in English, the more fluent you sound without even trying. This shift does not happen in one day, but it becomes easier with the right techniques. In the next section, you will learn simple exercises that help you think in English naturally. These exercises do not require any books, tools, or translations. They train your brain to switch into English automatically during daily life. Thinking in English becomes easier when you train your brain daily with simple exercises. You do not need to study for hours. You need to practice consistently. The following small habits will slowly remove translation from your mind. Start with describing your surroundings in English. Look at objects around you and say simple sentences about them. This helps your brain build direct connections without translating. Try narrating your actions in English as you do them. For example, when you walk, eat, or study, speak the action in your mind using English words. This small habit creates instant English thinking patterns. Another effective exercise is to ask yourself simple questions in English. Questions like what you are doing, where you're going, or what you need next. Your brain responds faster when you train it to use English for daily thoughts. Practice thinking about small plans in English. For example, think about what you will cook, what you will study, or where you will go. The goal is to make English part of your normal thought process. Try listening to English audio and repeating short phrases loudly. This will help your brain adopt natural sentence rhythms. Shadowing is another powerful technique. You listen to a sentence and repeat it with the same tone and speed. This builds automatic speaking reflexes. Spend a few minutes listing your feelings in English. When you feel happy, tired, excited, or calm, describe it in English. This builds emotional vocabulary without translation. All these exercises are simple, but very powerful. If you do them daily, even for a few minutes, you will notice your mind shifting slowly. Your thoughts will start forming in English before you even realize it. This early shift is the foundation of natural fluency and the beginning of confident speaking. Speaking naturally requires fast language reflexes, just like any physical skill. Reflexes are automatic responses your brain gives without thinking deeply. The more you practice, the stronger your English reflexes become. In real conversations, you do not have time to translate or analyze grammar rules. You need quick reactions, and those reactions come from repeated exposure and practice. One simple way to build reflexes is to respond instantly to simple prompts. For example, when you hear a question, try giving the first English answer that comes to your mind. Do not worry if it is perfect or not. The goal is to speak without stopping to translate. Practice answering common conversation starters every day. Questions like how you feel, what you are doing, or what your plans are. These questions build a natural flow of everyday speech. Another technique is to practice short reaction sentences. Phrases like I agree, I understand, I think so, or that is interesting. These small responses help you stay engaged in conversation. Listening is also a key part of building reflexes. When you listen to natural English, you train your brain to recognize patterns quickly. Over time, your mind automatically predicts what will come next. This prediction skill helps you react faster during conversations. Do not aim for perfect grammar while building reflexes. Aim for natural response. Fluency grows from speed and comfort first, accuracy later. As you build confidence, your grammar naturally improves through practice. Try speaking English in small real-life situations, even when alone. Imagine short conversations and respond as if someone is talking to you. This mental practice builds strong reflexes that work in real life. The secret is repetition and consistency. Every day you practice quick responses, your reflexes become stronger. Eventually, English becomes as automatic as your native language. Many learners make the mistake of focusing too much on grammar when speaking. They think they must build the perfect sentence before opening their mouth. This mindset slows down fluency and makes speech sound unnatural. Grammar rules are useful, but they should not control your speaking. When your brain is busy checking grammar, it cannot focus on meaning. Meaning should come first, and grammar should follow naturally. Native speakers do not think about grammar rules while talking. They speak based on patterns they have heard thousands of times. Your goal is to develop those patterns through listening and practice. If you depend on grammar rules while speaking, you will freeze under pressure. You will hesitate because you feel afraid of making mistakes. This fear creates pauses and breaks your confidence. To speak naturally, you must accept that mistakes are part of learning. Mistakes help your brain improve and fix errors over time. The more you speak, the more your grammar improves naturally. Grammar becomes automatic when it is used in real context. Instead of memorizing rules, focus on listening to natural English. When you hear the same structure again and again, your brain adopts it without effort. This builds intuition, which is stronger than rule-based thinking. The secret to natural speech is trusting your instinct and not fearing mistakes. Fluency is built through expression, not perfection. Speak with meaning and let grammar settle into place with practice. As you continue this training, you will notice your sentences becoming smoother. You will sound more confident because you are not stopping to check every rule. Grammar will still improve, but naturally and slowly, the same way children learn it. This is how real fluency develops, and this is why grammar-first thinking must be replaced. One of the most powerful steps toward natural speaking is replacing translation with meaning-based thinking. Meaning-based thinking focuses on the idea, not the words. When you think in ideas, English words come more naturally. For example, instead of thinking the exact sentence in your native language, focus on what you want to express. Your brain will find a simple English way to say it. This reduces pressure and increases fluency. Meaning-based thinking helps you stay calm because you're not trying to translate perfectly. You are simply sharing your thoughts in the easiest English you know. This method also prevents you from getting stuck in difficult grammar. You focus on communication, not perfection. To practice this, start forming simple sentences about your thoughts. Talk about your day, your plans, or your feelings using easy English. Do not try to say everything exactly as you would in your native language. Say it in the simplest English way your mind produces. This teaches your brain to use English as a direct tool for expression. Another exercise is to summarize ideas in English. When you read something or watch something, try to express the main idea in English. This trains your brain to think in English without translating every detail. Meaning-based thinking also makes conversations smoother. You will respond faster because you are sharing ideas, not translating sentences. You will feel less nervous because you do not need to create perfect grammar. Your sentences will be more natural because they come from your own expression. This shift takes time, but with practice, it becomes automatic. Eventually, your mind will stop translating altogether and start thinking directly in English. This is the key to natural fluency and confident speaking. One of the biggest reasons learners translate in their head is because their brain keeps switching between languages. To speak naturally, you need to train your brain to stay in English mode for longer periods. English mode means your thoughts, reactions, and inner voice stay in English without slipping back. To activate this mode, start by surrounding yourself with simple English daily. Listen to English voices, watch short educational clips, or read easy sentences. This consistent exposure keeps your brain warmed up and ready. When your brain is warmed up, English comes out more naturally. Another way to stay in English mode is by doing small thinking exercises throughout the day. These exercises can be as simple as describing something you see. You might describe the weather, the food you are eating, or the place you are sitting. This small habit keeps your mind connected to English thought patterns. Try setting short English-only moments in your day. Even 5 minutes of thinking or talking in English can be powerful. During these minutes, avoid your native language completely. This trains your brain to get comfortable using English alone. If your mind slips back into translating, gently push it back into English. Do not get frustrated. This shift takes time. Your brain needs practice to stay in one language without jumping back. One helpful method is repeating simple English sentences that describe your life. When you say them often, your brain begins to use them automatically. This also creates mental pathways that support natural fluency. The more time you spend thinking in English, the easier it becomes to stay in that mode. Soon, your mind will begin switching into English mode automatically whenever needed. This automatic switch is a major milestone on your journey to natural speaking. It shows that your brain is adapting and learning to trust the English language. With regular practice, you will feel this shift happening more often. That is when fluency begins to feel real and effortless. Many learners do not realize they are making habits that force their brain to translate. The first common mistake is thinking every sentence must be perfect before speaking. This slows down your speech and increases anxiety. The second mistake is relying too much on dictionaries. Looking up every word teaches your brain to translate instead of think in English. The third mistake is avoiding speaking situations. If you do not speak often, your brain never builds English reflexes. The fourth mistake is overthinking grammar rules while talking. This stops your natural flow and makes you hesitant. Another mistake is memorizing sentences without understanding the idea behind them. When you memorize, your brain is repeating words, not thinking in English. A common habit is speaking silently in your native language first. You think the sentence in your language and then try to find English words. This is the exact behavior we are trying to remove. Some learners also fear making mistakes so much that they stay silent. This fear strengthens the translation habit because you want perfect English. Another mistake is watching English content without paying attention to patterns or meaning. If you just read subtitles, your brain focuses on translation instead of listening naturally. Thinking in English requires combining listening, speaking, and understanding meaning. Skipping one of these steps slows down your progress. Avoiding small conversations in daily life is also a problem. Even short phrases help your brain practice automatic English responses. Some learners translate word by word when reading, instead of thinking about the overall meaning. This creates slow reading speed and hinders comprehension. To stop translating, you must identify these habits and replace them with natural thinking exercises. The faster you remove these mistakes, the faster your brain learns to speak freely. Each small correction in your daily practice strengthens your natural English ability. By being aware of these habits, you can start training your brain the right way immediately. Listening is the most important skill if you want to stop translating in your head. Your brain learns patterns, sentence flow, and expressions through listening. The more you listen, the more your brain understands natural English rhythm. Start with short audio clips or simple conversations. Do not worry if you do not understand every word. Focus on the overall meaning and how sentences are structured. When you listen actively, your brain begins storing phrases automatically. These stored phrases become ready-to-use sentences in real conversations. Shadowing is a powerful listening technique. Listen to a sentence and repeat it immediately with the same speed and tone. This helps your brain copy natural speaking patterns. Another method is to listen and summarize. After listening, say in English what the conversation or story was about. This trains your brain to think in English and express meaning without translation. You can also try listening and imagining yourself in the situation. Picture the scenario in your mind and respond naturally in English. This improves imagination and spontaneous English thinking. Listening also improves vocabulary naturally. Your brain remembers words in context instead of translating them individually. Avoid pausing every time you hear a new word. Focus on understanding the idea first, and the brain will fill gaps later. Consistent listening practice is key to shifting from translation to thinking directly in English. The more you listen, the more automatic English becomes in your mind. This creates a strong foundation for confident speaking. Your brain learns to predict and respond quickly, which is essential for natural conversation. Remember, listening is not passive. It is the training ground for thinking in English. If you master listening, speaking fluently becomes much easier. One of the main reasons learners translate is because they think word by word. Thinking word by word slows down your speech and makes sentences unnatural. English speakers think in phrases, not isolated words. For example, instead of translating, "I am going to the store now," focus on the short phrases, "I am going" and "to the store now." Your brain will assemble the sentence naturally. Practice breaking sentences into small phrases you can remember easily. Repeat these phrases until they feel automatic. When you hear English, listen for phrases instead of individual words. This trains your mind to process language as a whole. You will start recognizing patterns like "I want to" or "I need to" automatically. Using phrases also improves fluency because your brain recalls ready-made chunks of English. Avoid pausing to translate each word. It interrupts your flow. Think about meaning first, then let your brain fill in the phrases naturally. When you speak, string together short phrases instead of building sentence from scratch. This method reduces hesitation and increases confidence. Phrase-based thinking is faster because your brain no longer needs to calculate every word. Start with simple phrases about your daily life. For example, "I am eating breakfast," "I am going to study," or "I feel happy today." Repeat them silently or aloud multiple times during the day. Gradually, your brain will use these phrases automatically in conversations. You will notice that long sentences become easier because they are combinations of known phrases. This is how native speakers produce fluent speech effortlessly. Thinking in phrases is a key step to stop translating completely. IT trains your brain to stay in English mode and express ideas naturally. Every day, practice at least 5 short phrases in English. Small, consistent steps like these create lasting change in your fluency. Inner speech is the voice in your mind that talks to yourself silently. Most learners use their native language for inner speech, which keeps translation habits strong. To think in English, start using inner speech in English. Describe your thoughts silently in English throughout the day. For example, when you wake up, say to yourself, "I am getting out of bed. I will brush my teeth. I need to have breakfast." Do this even if nobody hears you. Inner speech creates a mental environment where English becomes normal. It allows your brain to practice forming sentences without pressure. You can narrate your actions silently in English while walking, cooking, or cleaning. Ask yourself questions in English mentally, like, what should I eat today? Or, what will I do after school? Answer these questions in English silently or aloud. This builds automatic response habits and strengthens English reflexes. You can also imagine conversations and respond in English in your mind. Pretend someone is asking you questions and respond naturally. This mental rehearsal improves confidence and fluency. Do not worry if your sentences are not perfect. The goal is mental training. Over time, your inner speech will become faster and more natural. Your brain will start thinking directly in English without translating. Combine inner speech with listening and speaking exercises for stronger results. Even 5 to 10 minutes of inner speech daily can make a big difference. Inner speech is a safe practice environment where you can make mistakes freely. This method reduces fear and hesitation in real conversations. Your confidence will grow because your brain has already rehearsed English responses. Eventually, your inner voice in English will automatically guide your speaking. This is a powerful tool that all fluent speakers use naturally without realizing it. Inner speech bridges the gap between thinking in English and speaking confidently. Another effective way to stop translating is to think in stories. Stories naturally connect ideas, making English expression easier and smoother. Instead of thinking word by word, imagine a short story in your mind. For example, describe your morning as a story. I woke up early, brushed my teeth, and had breakfast. Then I walked to school. This method trains your brain to organize ideas naturally in English. Stories allow your sentences to flow without interruption. Your mind focuses on events and meaning rather than exact translation. You can start with very simple stories about your day. Gradually, expand to imagine stories about friends, adventures, or dreams. This exercise improves creativity in English thinking. It also increases vocabulary because your brain remembers words in context. When your brain connects words to a story, sentences become automatic. You'll find yourself thinking in English while imagining scenarios. Another tip is to summarize short stories you read or watch in English. Try telling the story aloud in your own words using English. Focus on expressing ideas, not on translating word by word. Over time, storytelling will become a natural habit. You can also narrate small events in your life to yourself in English. This builds a mental bank of phrases and sentences ready for conversation. Stories help your brain create links between ideas, making English feel natural. Fluency grows when your mind is used to thinking in complete ideas, not isolated words. Combine this with inner speech and phrase-based thinking for stronger results. Eventually, English thinking will feel like second nature, and translating will disappear. Story thinking is a fun, creative, and practical tool for every learner. Until stop translating, you must use English in real-life situations as much as possible. Everyday practice teaches your brain to respond naturally. Start with small actions, like talking to yourself while cooking, cleaning, or walking. Describe what you are doing in simple English sentences. For example, I am chopping vegetables, I am washing dishes, or I am walking to the park. This builds direct thinking in English. You can also practice talking to objects or pets in English. Ask simple questions like, do you want water? Or are you happy? Even if no one responds, your brain is training for conversation. Another idea is to practice English while shopping. Say phrases like, I need this, how much is it, or thank you. These small interactions strengthen your mental English circuits. Practice ordering food in English, even if it is just in your mind. Imagine the conversation and respond naturally in English. Use English when reading signs, instructions, or messages. Try saying the words or sentences aloud. If you are traveling, describe your surroundings in English. For example, the street is busy today, the sky is clear, or people are walking fast. Even speaking to yourself in English while waiting or commuting helps. The key is repetition and daily exposure. Your brain will gradually stop switching to your native language. Real-life practice builds confidence faster than any textbook exercise. Your sentences will start coming naturally without translation. Daily situations become training moments for fluent thinking. Consistency is more important than perfection in these exercises. The more you immerse yourself in English every day, the stronger your fluency becomes. A powerful method to stop translating is to think in questions. When you ask yourself questions in English, your brain learns to respond naturally. Instead of thinking in your native language and translating, focus on forming English questions. For example, ask yourself, "What will I eat today?" Or, "Where should I go after school?" Then answer immediately in English. This trains your mind to react quickly, without pausing. Another example, while walking, ask, "What is happening around me?" and describe it in English. This builds observation skills and English thinking at the same time. You can also practice with imagined conversations. Ask questions like, "How are you?" or "What are you doing today?" Then answer as if someone is talking to you. This mental dialogue strengthens natural conversation patterns. Questions encourage your brain to produce language spontaneously. They also make your speech more interactive and less robotic. Practice using both simple and complex questions. Simple: what time is it? Complex: what would I do if I lost my phone? Answer these in English immediately, without translation. This exercise trains your brain to think fast and fluently. Another tip is to ask why and how questions about daily activities. For example, "Why am I going to school?" Or, "How can I improve my English today?" Answer these questions naturally in English, using phrases and ideas you already know. Over time, your brain starts producing English without conscious translation. Thinking in questions improves both fluency and critical thinking in English. It also prepares you for real conversations where you need to respond instantly. Consistency with this practice creates a habit of natural English thinking. Soon, your mind will automatically form questions and answers directly in English. Visualization is a powerful tool to stop translating in your head. When you imagine scenes, your brain links English words directly to images instead of translating from your native language. For example, picture yourself walking in a park. Now describe it in English. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, children are playing. Your brain connects the image with the English phrases automatically. This reduces the need to translate. You can also visualize actions you're doing in daily life. Imagine eating, reading, or cleaning and describe each step in English. Visualization helps you form natural sentences because your mind already sees the scenario. Another exercise is imagining conversations. Picture yourself talking to a friend in English and respond naturally. Try to describe emotions, actions, and surroundings in English while visualizing. This trains your brain to think in English contextually. You can also visualize stories you read or hear and summarize them in English. Use phrases you know and connect them to the scenes in your mind. Visualization strengthens memory because your brain links words to images. It also improves fluency because your sentences come from your imagination, not translation. Practice this daily for a few minutes, describing anything you see or imagine in English. Over time, your mind will start forming English sentences automatically. Even complex ideas become easier because you are used to thinking in English first. Visualization combined with inner speech and phrase-based thinking accelerates fluency. Your mind starts thinking in English naturally because it is connected to meaning, not translation. This method is especially useful for learners who struggle with word-for-word translation. It trains both imagination and language skills simultaneously. Soon you will notice your thoughts forming in English almost automatically. Repetition is one of the most effective ways to stop translating and start thinking in English. When you repeat sentences and patterns often, your brain memorizes them automatically. Start with simple daily sentences like, "I am eating breakfast," "I am going to school," or "I am feeling happy." Repeat them aloud several times until they feel natural. Then, expand by changing small details. "I am eating lunch," "I am going to the park," or "I am feeling excited." This creates flexibility in your English thinking. Patterns help your brain produce sentences without analyzing grammar. For example, "I like to" or "I want to" becomes a ready-made structure you can use anywhere. Another tip is to practice question patterns. What is? Where is? How do I? Answer these questions immediately in English to build reflexes. Repetition builds mental confidence because you already know the structure. It also reduces hesitation in real conversations. Use common expressions and repeat them in different situations. For instance, greetings like, "How are you?" or "Nice to meet you" can be practiced daily. Even describing your feelings or plans with repeated sentences strengthens automatic English thinking. Combine repetition with visualization for stronger results. Imagine a scene and describe it using repeated phrases and patterns. Your brain will begin connecting meaning directly with English phrases. Daily repetition creates habit, and habit is the foundation of fluency. Do not worry if sentences seem simple. Simplicity is powerful for building confidence. As your brain becomes familiar with these patterns, you will start forming new sentences naturally. The more you repeat and practice, the less you'll feel the need to translate. Eventually, English sentences will appear automatically in your mind. This method is essential for anyone aiming to speak fluently and naturally. Repetition transforms thinking in English from effortful to automatic. Confidence is one of the main reasons learners translate in their head. When you doubt yourself, your brain falls back to your native language. To speak naturally, you need to build small moments of success in English. Start with very simple sentences you know and say them aloud confidently. For example, describe your surroundings, your feelings, or your daily actions in English. Notice how it feels when you speak without translating. Each successful sentence strengthens your mind's trust in English. Gradually, increase the difficulty of your sentences. Try sharing short thoughts or ideas about your plans, hobbies, or observations. Every time you express yourself successfully, your confidence grows. Positive reinforcement tells your brain that speaking in English is safe and effective. Even small conversations with friends, family, or yourself count as success moments. Avoid focusing on mistakes. Focus on progress. Mistakes are natural and part of learning. Celebrate every time you speak English without translating. Track your progress mentally or in a journal. Write down phrases, sentences, or short stories you said in English. Review them and notice improvement over time. These small achievements gradually remove fear and hesitation. Confidence reduces translation because your brain trusts English thinking. The more you speak successfully, the more fluent you become. Combine confidence building with all previous exercises: inner speech, visualization, phrase practice, and real-life English use. Over time, you'll feel a natural shift from translation to thinking directly in English. This transformation is gradual but permanent if you practice consistently. Confidence and natural thinking work together to create real fluency. Every small success is a step closer to speaking English freely and naturally. Now you have learned many techniques to stop translating in your head and start thinking in English naturally. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. It is about expressing yourself comfortably. Practice daily and consistently, even with small steps. Use inner speech, visualization, phrases, and storytelling to train your brain. Think in English during simple daily activities, like walking, cooking, or cleaning. Ask yourself questions in English and answer immediately. Focus on meaning, not word-for-word translation. Celebrate every small success you achieve while speaking in English. Mistakes are normal and are part of learning. Do not fear them, they help your brain grow. Confidence is key to speaking naturally, so speak boldly. Repetition and real-life practice strengthen your automatic English thinking. Listen to natural English and imitate patterns through shadowing. Use simple phrases and gradually expand your sentences. Connect English words with ideas or images, not translations. Combine all these techniques for maximum effect. Be patient with yourself. Progress takes time, but consistency always pays off. Trust your brain's ability to adapt and learn naturally. Keep practicing, and soon thinking in English will feel normal and effortless. Thank you for watching and following along with these tips. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more practical English learning guidance. Your journey to natural English is just beginning, and every step you take brings you closer to speaking confidently. Stay motivated, practice daily, and keep pushing your limits. Goodbye, and remember, Think in English, speak naturally, and enjoy the learning process.